Yo guys, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back, thanks for tuning in. And we have Pirani from Clan GFLCs in his ISM, the mighty ISM on Steeps. He is on Steeps, that's how you say it. It's always Steeps. I think you're disagreeing with me on the mighty ISM, but look at this thing. He does not even want camo on this thing. Is it Eschew? I believe that's what we went through a couple years back, maybe a year ago. I said it was Eschew, and then someone said no, it's Eschew. I think it's both. He has eschewed. He doesn't have any camo. Why, Pirani? Why do you not have any camo? Maybe you don't like the ISM as much. I think you're going to like it after this. It is the mighty ISM. Why do I say that? Because, well, it's a one-trick pony. Really, two, sort of. It's got all that great front armor, pretty good turret, and it drops 390 alpha, but it's got the derpy 390 alpha gun, and he comes up here and starts dealing with this poor KV3, punches the KV3 right through the face. Two things that I found interesting, Pirani, that you're doing here. I don't remember noticing this in the past. It's been a while, though, since I've seen one of your replays. Really zoomed out, so we've got a zoom out mod, but we spent a lot of time way out there, which I thought was interesting. And you accept a lot more. I think you accept a lot more third person shots, right? Zoomed out shots. Very interesting. So we're coming in there, but so far so good. We're thumping the poor KV3. We've got two pins. We've bounced one, and there's that front armor. Now this is a great little spot for him to be playing, and probably one of the biggest reasons why it's a great spot is there's no artillery in this game. So when you have a heavily armored tank like this and you're able to keep people in front of you, like he is able to do here, things are going to go pretty well. But you see the KV3 move up. The Oho is getting a little bit beat up. Leo dies right there. That's a good thing. He had one hit point. I didn't notice that. But the Oho is kind of taking some hits, and you sit up there for a while, I think longer really than you needed to. I'd have come down and started working on these guys on the corner. I don't think you're going to get many more shots up here, but maybe you do. Let's see. Here we go. We're trying to maybe sneak up on top of the 45 TP, so to speak. Doesn't work. 252U sort of hanging out back there, and he's got a super, so that's quite a bit of armor on that corner. The good news is the KV3 and the 45 TP have moved forward and allowed you to kind of get some easy shots on those guys. So with the derpy nature of this gun, taking advantage of that a little earlier I think was probably a good idea, but we're going to come in here. And what surprised me a little bit on my first walkthrough or look through is you didn't just go after this guy. Let's get rid of this KV3, right? He's a bit of a problem here. If I come out, maybe he tracks me. Not necessarily an issue of lights because those guys can see me, but if they do go back and hide for a while, if I kill him, at least I'm not proxy lit. They won't have a good idea of where I am. So all those things, I think this was your priority guy. So we're going to mess around with this dude. Try to go what looks like into the lower plate. The Oho is trying to live. And that's your other problem is this KV3's got a pretty good shot on your poor Oho. So while you're ignoring the KV3, maybe thinking, that's a nice shot, by the way, you do this several times, maybe thinking you'll take on the guys in the back while the Oho kills the KV3. He seems to be not really going after the guy either. You might also say, well, this guy doesn't have a lot of penetration, and he doesn't, but if he gets into the turrets on the Oho, or maybe gets to your lower plate, he might have a chance with gold. So prioritization there, I think, was a little bit off. You do eventually switch, and obviously you kill him with a nice shot into his hatch. Probably would have went after that a little earlier. So we're more or less even at 4 to 5. Interesting that they don't seem, at least from looking at where the TDs were lit, they do not seem to have supported their heavies over here. You haven't come around the corner, so we don't know if we have any back in that corner back there looking down the lane. But so far that hasn't been required. Oho died. Your guys over on the east side are doing better. Looks like they're not losing, at least. For a moment it looked like they're losing. The center looks a little iffy. Question on what's going to happen with the T20 and the 1357. And then all of a sudden these dudes roll in. Nice little shot in the 45 TP. Looks like we've gone to APCR to help ourselves out. Object bounces. That was very nice. Little wiggle, little jiggle makes the shot a little harder than he wants it to be. There is a Renegade and a Scorpion back there he's kind of concerned about. Now this is right here one of my favorite things to do to the 252 and the Defenders, 252U. The hatches are very weak, especially if you got a little bit of look down on the top, and this is a very valid, pretty easy shot to get, boom, right into the top. Do that all the time, especially if you've got a taller tank. It's a little easier to get to. So remember that weak spot. Obviously, the under the pike nose is, but it's a relatively small area. Very strong tank overall, but a couple fairly easy weak spots to get to. And he just picks apart this hatch. Holy cow! That was a 459 roll. Look at that high roll. That's a lot, man. Nicely done. I was gonna say that's kind of max, but I'm not really sure. I'm not doing that math right. 25 per 100, 75 more, something like that. It was close. 75, maybe almost 100 more, I guess. Are we going to get it? Oh, no. On this one right here, Pirani, I think what I would be going for is the cheek area on either side. I feel like that's a larger target in between the armor. It's about right here, as opposed to going after these little hatches. Plus, if it misses high and low, who knows? Probably the armor stops it, but you never know. At that range, I just believe, and closer in, I just believe that's kind of a better shot. Not going to matter because you don't care. You just do this. Goodbye. Interesting to me that you don't carry any HE. I don't know if I didn't notice it earlier. I think you had 5 rounds of APCR. On this gun, I probably would carry a couple rounds of HE. It is useful on the 122. So on the 120 millimeter and higher, really, guns, HE is pretty effective for certain things. So I think you had an option right there potentially to carry a couple. Now we're just going to push on in here. We've preserved all of our hit points. It was what Pirani mentioned when he sent me the video. Said, hey, check this game out. I'm able to preserve my hit points, preserve my votes towards the end. And nice job with that. I think you could have been slightly more aggressive in a couple cases I talked about over there, but the results speak for themselves. 4 kills, 3,092 damage, 422 assists. My only question then would be just look at it and think about if maybe slightly more aggression on your part, and you may have lost some hit points in there, might have helped you keep some of your friends alive. See, that's the timing thing of this game. And while, yeah, you did a really nice job with 3,000, 2,200 bounce and 422 assists, maybe a slight bit more aggression, pushing in there and trying to kill some of those guys, availing them to shoot you instead of your buddies, a little bit of hit point sharing in there, which I know is counter to preserve your own hit points, but it is a balancing act that you're trying to get to. There was a potential, I believe, to keep maybe 1 or 2 of those guys alive, which helps you later on. That one is a bit esoteric and difficult sometimes to quantify because it's easy to also jump out and go, ooh, I'm going to soak up some hit points for my pub friends, and they do nothing and you die. So you have to speak out of both sides of your mouth sometimes there. So we're going to prioritize the Scorpion. I think that was fine. I would just close in on this ISU. Just take a look at this, and we have to assume where the Su-130 PM is, right? The Scorpion backed off the hill. The Su-130 is probably not on the hill in front of us, which means, and I would have guessed this anyway, he's probably up here somewhere or back here somewhere. He's in this general area, which gives him a lot of side armor to me. I need to close in on this ISU and get rid of this guy. I don't have time to mess around with him too much because the Su will start getting shots. This is basically that crossfire thing I try to avoid getting into with this kind of tank. That's all front armor. So we come in. I think this is the right idea. We're going to zoom right in, put a nice shot there. I would have pushed forward and left immediately, not backed up right there. Again, I need to close in because if he somehow backs out behind this ridge and for whatever reason these guys back here don't push in, which they don't really look like they're very interested in doing, I may need to get close and pixel snipe this guy again, and I need him to go away so I can turn my armor towards where I think the next threat's going to come. So we spent a little bit of time futzing around with this ISU right here. Rocking back and forth is fine. This was a little bit strange to me. You pick the left side to go after, which I don't understand. That's a much bigger target. I just shifted right over there and thumped that guy. Plus we've got more of the ground to deal with, so definitely a mistake there. Just shift right and take the clearer, more open, easier shot, especially for a derpy tank like this. There's the Scorpion. He gets a piece of us. And then you're going to prioritize the Scorpion. I would ignore the Scorpion and get rid of the ISU. The Scorpion's probably not going to pen you. If he does, he only does 240. Don't let the ISU reload and drop 750 on you. That was weird. I think that was something from the replay. It looks like you actually bounced off the Scorpion. Oh, no, he bounced off you. So I don't know where your shot went, to be honest. I guess it did hit the ground behind him. Let's back that up. Hold on. It's very strange, actually. I'm going to stay on my view here. As soon as I figure out how to get my scroll back, I hate that. See, while it's futzing around with it, I don't know. I don't know what happened. That was strange. You missed. I know that. We're on a reload. Oh, there we go. This is it. Again, I have no idea. Did we? Yeah, it looks like maybe we hit the ground in front of him. There we go. So maybe you did jerk the thing down. I'm not really sure what happened there, man. That was weird. Scorpion dies. We have found the Su-130 PM. He's over there. So just look at that sequence. I think we all know we could have got rid of probably this ISU much quicker. And then once that guy's gone, we can deal with more easily with a Scorpion and a 130 rather than letting the ISU have another shot at us potentially. There's our buddy, the Su-130 PM. And yeah, this is the right idea. You really can't sit there and just let him shoot. So you need to push up, put a little angle, just make it a little bit better angle. I think shooting on the move is the right idea. Just keep trying to close in on that. And as it turns out, the Scorpion G had a shot on him and down he goes. Did we get assist for that or did someone else see it? No. That's a scary assist. You got 666. 3,527 damage. 3,490 bounced. 4 kills and 666 assists is a really nice game, man. Combined 4,000 in there in the ISM. Even though it doesn't have any camo, which is very disappointing. I like this tank. I do. The mighty ISM. It certainly has its weaknesses. It gets flanked. It's in big trouble. It's rear-turreted, which makes it a bit clunky to use as a heavy based on the way the maps are designed and the game is played. But overall, in a game like this, where he's able to keep most of the threats in front of him and does a pretty nice job of shot selection, minus a couple things I talked about, he's able to drop a bunch of damage, bounce a bunch of damage, and get a little assist on the way for the nice win with Pirani on Steeps. That's all I've got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. If you did, go ahead and throw me a follow. If you're looking for ways to help out the channel, they are down in the description down there. That's all I've got, and we will see you.